it's Jen again, and today we are going to be making some beautiful flowers and decorative foliage for our terracotta potter that you received if you're part of the workshop. If not, you can purchase one and follow along. I got this one for about $2.50. And they're a great seasonal item, and especially at the end of the season, you can stock up on them for next year. So what we're going to do first is we want to discuss how to make the different things that we're going to add onto our foliage pot. The art store was out of one-stroke brushes, but a one-stroke looks a lot like this, except that it has longer bristles. They're slightly longer so that they can drag behind in different ways. You're going to go ahead and you're going to take some of your green. You want to get a little bit of water close to you like this, and you want to kind of water it down just a little bit like that. Might have gone a little far in that. There we go. These brushes hold a lot of water, so be careful. Adding that in there. Okay, so now that I've got green on both sides, the traditional way is kind of making a set of like stripes, kind of like 3 stripes or 2 stripes, and then you drag your brush through it. But I find that that's very tedious, and I like a lot of variation in my colors. So I'm going to go ahead and drag through like this. And then just on one side, I'm going to go ahead and choose another color. I'm going to kind of scoop it like this, so that there's green on, dark green on one side, light green on the other. I'm going to put that off to the side. Okay, and then starting right here, you can go ahead and see I'm going to hold my brush straight up like this. I'm going to plant it, and then I'm going to press down and wiggle, 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 and I'm angling out like that. So you can see it leaves kind of a strange area in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this green on this side here, and then I'm going to steal some of my light green here, so that's bunched on one side, green on the other. And I'm going to flip this side out like that, going down, same way here, like that. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some of my yellow, I'm going to press down, and I'm going to go like that. Now technically this isn't one stroke, but it's kind of giving you easy ways to make these leaves. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flick like this from the middle out to my edge like that, and I'm going to leave it just like that for now. So that's one leaf, okay? And you can always add a stripe down the middle with detailing. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my blue green, then I'm going to come over here and just get straight yellow on one side. I'm going to pull like that so I have yellow tipped there. For this one here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set my brush down. I'm going to press hard so it flares out. And then I'm going to gently pull up and drag. And you can see that gives you a nice leaf with some variation in color. If you want to smooth it out, you can go over it again. If you want it a little more smooth, less textury, like so. You can have kind of a chunk there, but that's cute. Do the same thing here, grabbing a little bit on this side, one going this way, setting it down, ballooning it out, dragging it slowly, and then starting to pull up and slightly drag like this. Cute. So you can go ahead and play with those different variations like that. And do one more here, and I'll show you a kind of another one like this. So we're going to set it down, press up, press up, press up like that. Okay. And if you're going to do one like this with the pressing, you really want to load a lot on the side. I didn't load a ton that time. I'll do it one more time so you can see. I'm going to get some more of this blue green. And I'm going to make sure that it's flattened out on both sides. Then I'm going to steal a nick of yellow like this. And then I'm going to start here, set it down, press, 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 like forward like that. And then you can always go through the middle, like to add a little bit like this. To the end, same thing here. Now I didn't put the stems on or connect them, maybe this just kind of leaves like this. And then if you're feeling particularly saucy, you can go back in and add extra lines in with a small brush like this. Grab a little bit here and just gently pull out like that, whichever kind of direction you want. Make sure you're gentle about it. Remember, we're not going for like super realistic. This is just kind of an impression of a little leaf. The last one is the dual leaf. I kind of like this one a lot. So at this one, you want quite a bit of paint on one side here. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape it off like that, and I'm going to drag through on one side like that. So it's loaded real well. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my yellow. I'm going to pull out so that it's loaded on one side like that. I want it pretty flat, like so, okay? And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set my brush down like this, holding it straight up. It's going to be like this teardrop one, except they're going to connect and they're going to be kind of a U shape on each side. So watch. Press and pull, flip, press, and pull. And with those, you get a natural stripe that kind of happens on its own. You can even go back over the section there if you want one on the outside too, like that. So it's all about kind of where the striping lays down, okay? And that's a cute one to also kind of do some of these with, since you already have it going there. You can use the edge of your brush, kind of pull from that middle line. You can even kind of add some striping back inside if you like. So yeah, those are kind of the basic ones. We're not going to go too complicated today. So what we're going to do next is we're going to work on some flowers. And the flowers are pretty easy. They just require a little bit of patience. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what it looks like on a paper plate, so you can get an idea. So you have the red all the way around like this, both sides. A little sloppy there, that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of black and I'm going to dip it at an angle like this, right here. You don't need a lot, just real gentle dipping over there in that corner like this. Make sure it's in the corner like that. Okay. Then I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab just a little bit of white like that in the other corner, back and forth. So you have red all the way across, and then you have white. Now you want to start with your darkest part, whatever colors it's going to be down here at the corner, okay? And the idea is that you set it down, you wiggle it up, kind of like this, and you come back around. There you go. That's kind of a good one. Now that would be a single petal. So you're going to do the same thing again, so that the black part is in the middle. You want to kind of keep that going there, like that, okay? So starting here, going up, spreading my brush out, coming back in like that. Black stays towards the middle, goes up, wiggles. So staying in there like that. Okay, so you have that first kind of section there. And then what you have to do is you have to wait a little bit for it to dry. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to move on to the slightly smaller guy. And you can tell lengthwise he's not as long, so when he spreads out, he won't do the same thing. Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more red here, like this. All the way across. And then as before, I'm going to go get some black on one side and some white on the other. Don't be deceived. Remember, these brushes also, just for the way that they look, because they look fancier, they're tipped with like a black right there. So sometimes that can be a little deceptive. Some artists don't like that because they can't tell what's on their brushes easily. But you'll just have to trust me that this is all red on here and then white on one corner and then black on the other. And then you guessed it, I'm going to start over here and I'm going to alternate. I'm not going to go in the exact same petal shape, same spot, like overlapping, just a smaller version. I want to kind of vary it a little bit. So I have to make sure, almost did it wrong. My black is tipped down, white is up. I'm going to go this way and down and kind of fill in a little gap there. Same thing, going to grab some of this across here. Black on one corner, white on the other. Go here, there. I'm gonna keep that process up. Might be able to get a couple more out of this one. Sometimes you can get 2 out of the same one. Up. Like that. And probably gonna have to go back and reload now. And then let's see here. A little bit of black on one side, a little bit of white on the other. And then you guessed it. Like so there. Looks cute. Now, there's kind of a shortcut here. If you're gonna be doing a rose one, you can do something like this where you take a slightly lighter color than this over here. And what you're gonna do is you're just going to kind of wiggle along the in-between area there. Come on. Not really showing up. Need it slightly lighter than that, guys. Okay, there you go, like that. And then when we start to get to the middle, I want to wash this off real quick. We're gonna scoot on over to this small flat brush. And this guy here, it's not gonna make petals, like it's just too small for that. So what you're gonna do here is you are going to go ahead and get some of your red. And then this is time where we're gonna make the letter C. So we're gonna make a letter C in the middle, kind of like this. Then we're gonna make a letter C kind of connecting so that it sits in the middle like that, okay? Grab a little bit of white. Then you're gonna make another one like that. Another one over here like this. And you're just gonna kind of press down and you're gonna continue making these little wiggles around the side here. And by the time you're done, what was a pansy now becomes a cute little rose. So that shape that's up there, that C shape, is a lot like this. So it's kind of like a chain link almost. It goes like this, and then like this, right up there. And then starting somewhere over here, what you want to do next is you want to kind of come over this way and go like this. Maybe this guy will wiggle here, and you're just going to start surrounding these different areas like this, okay? As long as this C shape is there and one more like this, you're good to go. It'll look rosy, literally. You can connect them. You can even make a letter E too. Some people do that. They make an actual letter E and then a little hook like that, okay? So those are the flowers that we're gonna be doing on our terracotta pot. So follow along next as I go ahead and paint with you and make the design. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to mark out my project where I'm gonna do things just so I can visually kind of see. We're probably gonna do something along the bottom that's kind of a wiggle like this. So I'm gonna start a wiggle there. Probably gonna do a little wiggle across the top too. Notice how I didn't really give a heck about whether they were straight or not, or whether they look exactly the same. If you're really into that, you can always stencil it with a piece of paper that you cut, but I'm not too worried about it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna have a big centralized kind of one here. So I'm gonna put a circle there, and then I'm gonna have a line come out this way, and a line come out that way, like that. Then I'm gonna have another little circle here, a line come out like this, and a line come out like that. So I know that's where my leaves are gonna be. So imagine a flower here, leaf, leaf, okay? And then I'm gonna teach you how to make I'm gonna do a little wiggle like that where there's gonna be a rosebud there. Maybe a little rosebud here. And then we're just gonna kind of go ahead and add one more this way. One going down like that. One coming out this way. And then we'll do a little rosebud up here too. Okay, so now we have the idea of where our placement's gonna be. Hopefully you can see this really well. Let me make sure I zoom in. This thing stays zoomed. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and make our leaves. So we already know how to make our beautiful flower. We're gonna set that off to the side here, get a little bit closer to you. And Since our pot's a little bit smaller, I'm gonna actually use this one for leaves. Okay, and I think for mine, what I'm gonna do here, I showed you the several leaves and you can change those, and wherever these lines are, you can put the leaves on that we discussed earlier, but I'm gonna do my half and half leaves, I think. So I like those a lot. They're clean and they're pretty. So I'm gonna get some on both sides here like this, and then I'm gonna pull some of my yellow like this. And I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna press down and like that. Do the same thing, get the extra off both sides. Get my yellow over here, press down. Oops. Gotta drag along the surface a little bit. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna kind of do the inverse where I take just a little bit of yellow and I'm gonna kind of spread out this side. So setting down, spreading out. There you go. It's a little haphazard on the side because you're actually painting on a rounded surface, but I'm okay with that for now. Remembering that we're not going to see this part of our leaf anyway, so that's okay. It's all good. So for this one, I'm going to grab a lot of a brighter yellow green here, and I'm going to go ahead and do the two-step one. So I'm going to set it down, I'm going to press forward like that. I'm going to get the other green on there, set down, press forward like that so it meets. Cute. I'm going to go over here, do the same thing. I'm going to get some of this green on here. I think I want a little bit more of a blue-green, so I just add a little bit more blue in there so it's kind of a tealish color. I'm going to start here, set it down gently, and press. And then as I'm dragging across the surface to pull up, like so. I'm going to come over here, grab some of this one, both sides like that, set it down, press, dragging across the surface and pull up. Now I can always tighten that up a little bit. See how thick my paint is getting on my brush here and how the brush is spreading out? When that happens, you want to go ahead and clean off your brush. The other brush is falling in. Clean off your brush. And you want to take a household rag, any kind of rag that you have that you can wash over and over again. And you're just going to go ahead and press that out, especially down towards the middle, because otherwise paint builds up here, water builds up. So I'm going to go over here and grab some of this yellow paint here. And I'm just going to make kind of a gentle stripe through the middle there. Cute. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Gentle little stripe with my yellow. Being careful when you're painting around that if you, I'm using this plate here, or this bowl rather, but you might want to have to use your hands to pick it up. Okay, like so. All right, and I need some more leaves over here. So I'm going to do the same process again. I'm going to grab my green. There you go. Set down, press, and pull. He's a little bit smaller on that side, but that's okay. I'm going to grab some of my yellow. Set it down and pull. I like it. I like how it alternates like that. Okay. Those ones I don't really need to split up anymore because I kind of like the way that they're looking there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to rotate my pot. You guessed it. Down. Press. Pull up. Get my yellow. And this time I might add just a little bit of white. You can use anything that's a little bit brighter, like a yellow or a white, or mix some of it together with some of the green and get a slightly yellow-green, or like a daffodil yellow, or whatever you want. That's okay, as long as it's in like this leafy spectrum. Cute, love it. Like how that side is a little bit brighter. I'm gonna kind of bring it together though. I want the whole leaf to look a little bit brighter. There we go. And then over here, I'm gonna have this guy kind of wobble down a little bit. Press, going down. Get my darker colors going here. Set it down, press, Going like that. Okay, so we have our leaves there. Got a big old chunky section of paint here, which I'm gonna kind of go over on that side. Just because I don't want it to interfere with our rose later. We like thick paint, and we cannot lie. But the problem with it is that it makes painting over the surface of it very bumpy. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off. I'm going to put this fella right here down for a second. This is a terracotta pot. So it's a little bit different. It's kind of thirsty. It's really good for maintaining and holding on to moisture. I'm pretty sure that's why they use it so much for potting plants. That being said, you can see that it sucks up some of the moisture from the paint and some of the paint itself. So if that bothers you, you can go over and add another layer in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some green here, right over this area again. Going over. I guess we'll just overlap these little guys. And we're turning our little flat brush sideways like this. And I'm actually going to bring it right off the pot. We have our wiggle line there, but you'll see what I'll do with that later. Same thing, I'm going to do this one here, and I'm going to curl this one like that. And make this one a little wavy, like so. Okay, have those in. You can do this all the way around if you want your whole pot. It's up to you. Okay, and then we'll take a little bit of our yellow, like so, and just a couple little dashes here and there, little dashes. Little dashes. So they kind of look like weird little palm trees right now. To add in any little details you want on your leaves. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in a little bit of some white to some of my yellow over here together. If you can do that, if not, it's okay. You don't even have to do this part. Gentle little lines like this that you drag across. Same thing at an angle. Start at your middle line, drag across. Like so. Flip over here. Make sure to drag so that it's nice and flat. And if you get a little frustrated with the surface of this, that's typical. It's can be a little tricky painting on a three-dimensional surface, especially something that you normally paint when you're doing it flat. So practice a little bit first, like we did on our paper plate and we did on our cardboard. That's okay. And you might screw up. That's all right too. Just paint over it. Going through here, adding some of that darker green back in. Same thing over on this side. Turning this way, get some up here. All right, so it looks cute there. You must be back and ready and already dried. I am like 99% dried over here, but I'm not worried about that because I'm not going to touch that area. Here we go. So remember before when we did this? Sure you do. We just did it a couple minutes ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the little guy that's all the way at the end because this is all dry, so I can tilt it so you can see right here. And I'm going to get out my red, and just like before, I'm going to make sure that there is some water added to this, just a little bit, because it's a heavy body acrylic, this one. Going all the way through like this, okay? And I'm gonna come over here and get some white, like that. Maybe, if I can get it to stick on my brush. There we go. And over here, I'm gonna get some black, like so. There we go, looks good, love it. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to set it like we did before with the dark towards the middle, the light towards the end. Ooh, look at that. Hello. right down that way. Love it. Back towards the middle, pink out, going up. Wavy, 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 going in. Darker color in the middle. This one gave us a little weird color in the middle there. Probably gonna go over that one more time. A little bit of black, a little bit of white. Let's do that again. Okay. Drag it through our paint like we did before. Get some of the black, get some of the white on our corners, making sure to overlap onto what we already did. Go back over it if you need to. Kind of make that one a little more round. There you go. Okay, remember it looks like a pansy at first, and if you like it like that, you can leave it that way, but I'm kind of going for more like the pink kind of rose look today. This way, and this time I'm going to go up a little bit because the middle is going to be filled anyway, so I want this one to be bigger. Like that. I'll go and get some more. I think I can get one more out if I turn it on this side. I can. Yeah. Like that in. Here, remembering the black stays towards the middle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And there, cute. Start there. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Fill it in a little bit. Then I'm going to go over this little guy here because he is too see-through. He's just too see-through. Get your stuff together, little fella. All right, a little bit of black over here, a little bit of white there. And I'm going to start here, go up, wiggle, 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 downward like that. Good, so that's a good base there. And if it really bugs you, you can just kind of pat in some darker color in the middle. If you're scared you're not going to end up covering that, I just kind of fake it a little bit. Okay, so pansies, once again, you can add little dots or whatever if you want to just keep pansies. All right, this one is almost dry and ready to go here. So we won't work on this one. Actually, I guess we will. Yeah, we'll do one little guy. Now this guy's going to be too big. Look at how far he goes out. So we have to go ahead and change our brushes. Getting black on one side as before. Pink on the other, starting towards the middle. Wavy, 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 wavy. Love it. Same thing. Black on one side, white on the other. Wavy, 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 wavy. Okay, we'll let that one sit for a little bit. So over here, I'm gonna get some of this red on here, and I'm using the smaller brush now, along with these ones, because I already did the big ones. You guessed it, black on one side, like a real dark red, and a light pink on the other, petal of the other one. And there like that. Let's do a little guy right here. So you can do little ones like that too. Okay, drag through, a little bit of black, a little bit of white. There you go. You can see the different layers there looking cute. You can do the same thing moving on to this one. Starting here. There you go. Go over and do this one over here. Again. Ooh, that one's funky. I'm actually going to go over this guy here to kind of make him brighter. And then a little fella out that way. Like that. Cute. All right. Now, since this guy's right there in the middle, I'm just going to set this off here for a second. And I'm going to get my little brush, this little guy here. And remember the little letter C that we did before? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab some of the white, add it in. So I have a little bit of kind of a sort of pinkish color. You can have it a little bit darker if you want, but it shows up a little bit better. So I'm going to come over here in the middle and I'm going to make the letter C. I'm going to come right next to it. And I'm going to make a little connector kind of guy that goes in like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can make them kind of wobbly like that. In fact, it works a little bit better. And then around the edges out here, I'm going to make some wiggles like that. And then some more wiggles like that. And there you go. Now you have a little rose. Okay. If you want it very fancy, you can grab a little bit of your pink and you can make sure it's a nice light pink and kind of gently tap the edges of your different petals like that, because it'll just look like the light's hitting it a little bit. If you're feeling saucy, just taps, not much more. There you go. Ta-da, that one's cute. Okay, so since those are done over here, they're ready for their letter C's as well. Letter C. Letter C, that one's kind of dark. Little edge. Letter C coming out this way. That's a little white. Go for that a little bit. Some come out this way. Vary it like that. There you go, rose over there. Turning this way over here, this little fella should be ready for us now. He doesn't have his second version on here and he's so small, we're gonna have to fake him. So we're gonna make a bigger letter C this time. Okay, like that. Kind of reversed it a little bit, but that's okay. I'm kind of a person who reverses things by accident sometimes. That's just who I am. Going around there. Okay, there you go. So you have 3 beautiful roses there, and you can do the same thing that we did over there. You can add a little bit of white and some pink together and do some tapping. Beautiful, 3 little flowers there. So the next part I'm going to show you how to do is some decorative in between stuff, and this is just for fun. Pretty, right? Not that complicated, really. About 15 minutes to paint those flowers. Not bad. Next, what I'm going to do is teach you a little bit about how to make these different designs on here. So this is called a liner brush, and it looks like a line to begin with, so that's pretty easy to identify when you're in the store. But if you don't have a liner brush, you can also use the side of a flat brush to make some lines. And I'm going to show you how to kind of decorate a little bit. So what we're going to do first here is we are going to make a pile of paint of your choosing, and we are going to go ahead and water that down a lot. Okay, like so. You want to run your liner brush through it and twirl it like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start in one area and gently wiggle. Like so. Then stop for a second, and you can see because I'm using blue, it's coming out black. I don't even have to use black paint. Starting over here and gently wiggle. And pull up when I'm getting there, like that. I'm gonna rotate. I have my liner brush here. Just gently wiggling over the surface. I'm not pressing hard. Rotate. Kind of get a little bit of the paint down again. See how it drips down to the bottom? paint over there, but that's all right. I'm cool with it. So now we have the top and the bottom have been thoroughly wiggled. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And you can go ahead and paint that in if you want, but I like it kind of like that personally. So some fun things that you can do in between your flowers are put these little rosebuds. So the rosebuds are really easy. All you want to do is you want to take a medium-sized brush, which is a flat brush, about this size right here. And you're going to get out your red paint again. Drag through here like this. And they're basically the same thing that we did with our leaves, except they're in red. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to press down like this. Then I'm going to go get some of my darker red here and get some of that over here on one side. I'm going to add a little bit of black to that. Back and forth. Gonna press down like this. Come over here, same thing, one here, press down. Maybe I'll put a little guy here, press down. How about one right there? Press down. Same as we did before, get the extra off. Now I'm gonna come over here and get a lighter color or any kind of other color that's kind of in the pink red spectrum. Press down, bring across that way. Same thing over here, press down like that. Press down. They look like pink leaves until we put the other stuff on. If you want, you can always add a little bit, some extra like that too. Put one more little rose petal in there, like that. Notice how I left a peekaboo of what's underneath. You don't have to do this part though if you don't want. Some red in there. Okay, so we have those little guys there. Okay, and those are pretty old. So for them, you want to go back over here and get your liner brush if you have one. If not, you can use a flat brush. I'm going to grab some of my green. And I'm going to make sure it's watered down. And I'm going to put a little bloop, bloop, like that. It's kind of like a lazy V. Bloop, bloop, on each one of them right underneath it. Bloop, bloop. There we go. Okay. And now going to very gently pull down like that. Pull down and you can kind of vary the shape of it, etc. Here, right there, you can see it in the fine touch right there. And over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my green, a little bit of white, and a little bit of yellow over here somewhere. There we go. I'll just mix it right on there together. And I'm just going to go ahead and set down, press. Ooh, that's a little bright. That's better. Bloop. Oh, much better. Little guy there. Bloop. It's just a little touch. Even give these little rose petals up here some. Give this guy one right there. Maybe one right there. Here. Cute. You don't have to be that involved with it if you don't want.